Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Thursday, August 14th, 2014. I'm Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5. Got a little bit of a different show for you today. We're going to play the in or out game with 24/7 Sports recruiting boss Steve Wiltfong. Basically going to go down the list of the prime candidates left on Ohio State's board and just play in or out. Does he see them being in or out when the class is inked the first week of February? We hope you enjoy the in or out game and keep it locked to Bucknuts all day, peeps. As promised, Bucknutters, we are joined by the lovely and talented Steve Wiltfong, Director of Recruiting for 24/7 Sports. Steve, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
Today we're going to play a game of in or out. I have in front of me Ohio State's 2015 football target list that Bill Kerwitz diligently keeps up, something you should all check out. And we're just going to go down the list of the guys that have a heavy crystal ball leaning towards Ohio State or guys that we're hearing about. We're going to skip over the ones that we don't think are going to end up in the mix. But we've got a nice little list here, and we think you'll enjoy it. What we're going to do is we're going to throw out the name, very simple, in or out. Will this guy end up in the class of 2015 6 or 7 months from now when signing day takes place the first week of February? You ready to rock, Steve?
I'm ready.
And we're starting at the top and going in what ends up being their ranking. So, number one, obviously, Josh Sweat, in or out?
Out, but Ohio State's in the mix. They'll get him on campus for an official visit. So that'll be a huge weekend for Ohio State as they try and make a move. But right now I have Sweat out of Ohio State's class.
Do you have him in at Florida State or Georgia? Or Virginia Tech, for that matter?
I think Virginia Tech is the pick right now, but could easily see him at Florida State or Georgia. A lot up in the air, but I think Ohio State's running 4th or 5th right now, heading into the official visits, and we'll see what happens that weekend when he comes in.
Here's a biggie: Damian Harris, running back out of Berea, Kentucky, in or out?
In. Talked to Damian in the past. I know he wants to take an official visit for the Michigan game. Plans to enroll early. Kentucky is certainly in the thick of it. Big Blue Nation is going to make it a tough decision for Damian. I know he's looking at some other schools as well, but right now I think Ohio State's the team to beat. I have Damian in the class. Excellent. Okay. Another biggie. Torrance Gibson, dual threat quarterback or whatever he's going to play, who knows, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in or out? Right now I have him in. Ohio State's the team to beat. Since he visited Friday Night Lights, the Buckeyes became the leader, and that has not changed to now. He has an official visit planned for Columbus. I assume that'll be a great visit as well. Right now, Torrance Gibson is in the class. Those of you who are boarding house lovers, we will have another item on Torrance Gibson today. It's been a couple days, so obviously we need a Torrance Gibson item. And let's just say it's going to echo the sentiments of one Steve Wiltfong. All right, next up, Christian Kirk, athlete receiver out of Scottsdale, Arizona, in or out? Same thing as Josh Sweat, in the discussion but out of the class right now. We'll see what happens when he takes his official visit as well. Ohio State is certainly in the race in a school he's considering, but right now I have him out. Which is a shame. He's a stud, but I've always kind of felt it was a long shot. I was just kind of hoping. Let's see. Okay. Drew Richmond, offensive tackle out of Memphis, Tennessee, in or out? Ohio State in the mix, but I have him out of the class right now. I think that when it's all said and done, the word is that he'll be in the SEC. So we'll see what happens. He obviously was at Ohio State for Friday Night Lights. He is comfortable in Columbus. The Buckeyes are in the mix, but I have him out of the class. Given that, I think that makes this next name even more important. Offensive lineman Matthew Burrell out of Woodbridge, Virginia, in or out? I actually have him out of the class, too. Steve. I know the crystal ball heavily favors the Buckeyes right now, and I know he really likes Ohio State, but a couple people have said that they think he's going to head elsewhere to a Florida or a Florida State. So I have him out of the class. This just in. Here's what people are going to be talking about. Matthew Burrell not going to Ohio State. All right. The truth hurts sometimes. Next up. I mean, it's not, I'm careful here with this one. I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm not making it. Hey, I could be wrong on Christian Kirk, Josh Sweat, and Matt Burrell, and Drew Risman, but I mean, Ohio State's in the discussion for them all. But right now, I got them out.
We're all big boys here. We can handle the truth. We'll just cry in private. Next up, another biggie on the other side of the ball. Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle and large man out of St. Catharines, Ontario in Canada. Neville Gallimore, in or out?
This one's very tough because...
Oh, come on, Steve.
Well, I think that Ohio State's at the top of the discussion for Neville, but I'm not sure I can say he's in for anybody just yet. But I certainly like where Ohio State is with him heading into the official visits. And there still needs to be some more intel and information gathered on Gallimore here, but I do know that the Buckeyes are squarely in it. School like Oklahoma certainly is going to have a lot to say on his recruitment. So for right now, I can't play the in or out game on the Canadian blue chipper Neville Gallimore.
Steve Wiltfong passes on Gallimore. Okay, we'll play the game later on down the road, and you can answer.
Mm-hmm.
Another name that we've heard of just routinely throughout the process, wide receiver out of Brentwood, Tennessee, Van Jefferson, in or out?
I've had him in for a while. Just sharing information with Bucknuts insiders, Bill Kurlick and Alex Gleitman, and talking to other people in the network and sources. He got Van in. It's certainly close, and there were times where I thought he would already be in. So that always gives you a pause, but I haven't heard anything to make me think he's not going to be in the class. It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up at a place like Tennessee, but right now I have Van Jefferson in.
Excellent. Finishing strong. Okay, last name, Jordan Whitehead, cornerback out of Monaca, Pennsylvania. Or Monaca? I don't even know how to pronounce that correctly. Jordan Whitehead, in or out?
I have Jordan Whitehead in the class.
Good finish, Steve.
Right. I just haven't heard anything different. I think Ohio State's got some connections with the Central Valley that are in the favor of landing Jordan Whitehead right now. And Jordan's been high on Ohio State for a while, been to campus several times, including Friday Night Lights, where no doubt he had a great visit. Alabama is a school that's pushing for him. Penn State's in that top three, West Virginia, Pitt. But right now, the 24/7 Sports crystal ball for me says Ohio State. I got Jordan Whitehead in the class.
Excellent. Okay, people, there you have it, straight from the number one recruiting voice nationally in the network. We appreciate Steve joining us. Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it. See you guys soon.